Hey guys, it's Razzie, and today I'm here to make a video that I've been meaning to make for a very long time. I really apologize if the audio quality in this is really bad and also the lighting. I'm using a small action camera that my husband bought me, and this is actually the first time that I've used it, so it's also an experimental video, but I figured it would be the easiest way to film this. But anyway, like I said, this is a video I've been meaning to make for a long time and has been requested a few times by you guys, and it is a body comparison of my SD vinyl dolls. Here we have on the very left Rin, who is on the DD2 body, Soba-chan, who is on the Dolphy Dream sister body, and Mirai, who is on the Smartdoll body. So right now they're all dressed up, but I'm going to get them undressed real quick, and then I will start with the comparison. Okay guys, I've gotten them all undressed, and just for reference again, on the left we have the Dolphy Dream 2 body, in the middle is the Dolphy Dream sister, and on the right is the Smartdoll Mirai. Now just from this view you can see a couple things, and I'm going to move the camera a bit and show you some things up close, but just from this view you can see that the Dolphy Dream sister is a couple centimeters shorter. She's meant to be the sister of Dolphy Dream, so that makes sense. The Dolphy Dream 2 and Mirai are just about the same height. The only thing that makes Mirai a little bit taller is the shape of her head, which is quite oval and egg-shaped. So that makes her appear a little bit taller, even though if you were to put a Dolphy Dream head on the body, I think that they would probably be the same exact height. So I'm going to move the camera and just show you guys some things. I'm going to start and compare the Dolphy Dream 2 and the Dolphy Dream sister body. It's very obvious to see the height difference. If you notice, the bust difference is quite large because my Dolphy Dream 2 is on the large bust, and the sister, the Akira, comes with the small bust. So just looking, you can see the huge size difference in these two bust pieces. But the Dolphy Dream 2 does have very small bust options, just like the sister, and the sister has optional large bust pieces. But you get to the differences when you try to compare their shoulder shapes, and you can see how the DD2 kind of has this extra shoulder piece on the inside of the hard frame, and the sister does not. So it just looks a little more natural. And you can also tell that the slope of the shoulder on the Dolphy Dream 2 is a little more harsh, while the Dolphy Dream sister is like a softer, more sloped shape, just a little more feminine. The collarbone areas are a little different. The sister is a little more defined. The lighting in here is really bad, I'm sorry, but otherwise they're pretty similar. If you move down though, you can tell that I'm going to turn her just a little bit, that the Dolphy Dream 2 and the sister have quite different torso shapes. The DDS is a good bit thinner, and the DD2 has a little more curvature to it. I think the DDS looks a little more natural, but that's just an opinionated thing. The elbows are almost the same. They both pop out of the, not pop out, but you can pull them out to make them double jointed. Also with the bust piece, you can tell that the DDS has more of a slope right here, which makes it a little more natural than this piece. Going down to the legs, They're similar, but the DDS is a little more curved and defined. The gap between the thighs is about the same, and the jointing on the thighs is pretty much the same. Going down to the knees, not much of a difference here. And the same with the feet. Actually, I think that the sister has smaller feet, like shorter feet, but they're about the same shape, just shorter. So that's a very quick comparison of these two. Now I'm going to compare the DDS and the Smartdoll. They're very different dolls. First of all, you can see, as I was talking about, Mirai has such an egg head, while the Dolphy Dream heads are a little more circular and, you know, just overall more squished in, I suppose. And Danny actually makes wigs that fit the Smartdoll's heads a little bit better, where the bangs don't go in the eyes, and I think that's one of the reasons why he made the head this shape, but you know, can't really be sure about that. I'm gonna take the sister and put her to the side for now and compare the DD2 and Mirai for the rest of this video, just because they're a little more similar in size and it will be easier. Now from the get-go, you can tell that their overall height is almost the same except for the head, but the proportions are definitely different. So you can tell that Mirai has a much longer torso and a thinner chest or shoulder area. Mirai actually is on the small bust, which is comparable to a Dolphy Dream M bust. Her small bust is Danny's default, and you can buy bigger bust options from his store. Now you can tell the biggest difference in the Smartdoll and the DD2 is the bust line. Smartdoll has this under bust seam, which looks a lot more natural and has amazing posability. The Dolphy Dream has a waist part, which, you know, doesn't, under clothes, you know, you can't tell, but when comparing them without clothes on, it's obviously a huge difference. In addition to that, this Smartdoll's torso just looks a lot more proportional, where the Dolphy Dream has this like drastic waistline, which I'm not saying is not possible. It just doesn't look as appealing as the Smartdoll's waistline. Just looks a lot more natural, in my opinion. The legs look pretty similar. Down to the knees are also pretty similar. Danny based his doll off of the Dolphy Dream. The feet are quite different though. If you can see, the Dolphy Dream's foot is much wider, and the Smartdoll's foot is just a tiny bit longer, but not enough to make a difference in shoes. They still pretty much wear the same shoe size, but yeah, that's just something to consider. With the ankles, you can tell the Smartdoll has quite a bit of gap with the joint, and the Dolphy Dream 2 it sits pretty flush against the pieces. Not really a big deal, but you know, then again, some people may care. One thing I do want to compare really quickly is the Dolphy Dream sister, and Smartdoll hands. These are almost the same style hands, but you can tell that the Smartdoll's hands are a little bit thinner, while the DDS, they're just like a little chubbier. Like I said, small differences, but to some people it may make a difference. So I'm going to turn them around and compare them from the back side. Alright, and here you can see the difference in these three bodies from the back. I'm going to do the same as I did with the front and just kind of compare the DD2 and the DDS first, and then compare the DD2 and the Smartdoll. There's not much of a difference in these two from the back other than what's obvious from the front. The DDS has a longer piece under the bust, so it's a little elongated compared to the DD2. The DD2, her bottom is a little bit wider, just, you know, because her overall body is a little bit thicker. So when buying clothes for the DDS, keep in mind that she's a little bit slimmer, in addition to being shorter than the DD2 and the DD3 will be. Going down to the thighs, same as the front. The knees are a little bit tricky. They look similar and the jointing is similar, but if you can tell here, in the DDS bodies that I've dealt with, the vinyl around the internal skeleton is a little bit looser. I think I should say looser. Her legs swivel a lot more at the knees. Now this also makes them wobbly and shaky, so posing the DDS is not as easy as posing the DD2. The DD2 is a lot more solid of a standard just because her knees don't swivel from side to side as much. I'm not sure if it's something that Volks did so that they could like sit Suarico style or, you know, what have you, but I'm not quite fond of it. I'll probably be modding or, you know, doing some kind of temporary fix to my DDS, both of their bodies, just so that their knees don't wobble quite as much and they can stand a little more solidly. So when comparing the DD2 and the Smartdoll, you can tell that the features on the DD2's back are a lot more defined. The Smartdoll has much more subtle features. It's actually kind of hard to see her shoulder blades at all, whereas the DD2 has these nice carved out features and the line down her back. Some people may like that. I kind of like that, but that's just me personally. From the back you can see the waistlines of these two dolls, and you can also tell that the Smartdoll does have quite larger of a booty. That's one of the reasons why jeans and shorts may, you know, be a little bit snug on her, which is nice for the most part, but then some things just will not fit over that massive bottom, so just keep that in mind when searching for clothes. But I know that I'm getting too in detail with this, but you can see the DD2 has this really defined line here in the middle, at the base of her tailbone. The Smartdoll doesn't have that, so, you know, just the overall sculpting isn't as defined. She does have really cute dimples, though. I don't know if they're showing up on video, but I just think that's really cute. Now, here's a huge difference that I'm sure everybody notices, is this peg in the back of Mirai's body, and it is for her stand. It's a telescopic stand, and it just allows for easy posing and standing, so you don't have to have those saddle stands or what have you. And I know it doesn't look so great with clothes off. Some people are, you know, modding them closed, but it's not a big deal for me. It means that her stand is very easy to hide in photos, and I can basically take her anywhere and plop her down without having to lug around a big clunky stand. Again, just personal preference. From the back you can see the feet, same as from the front, you know, the gapping in the joints from one body to the next. And yep, that's about it. Small difference, Mirai has her little stamp here. She also, I think, has a stamp under her neck. Yeah, as though you didn't know what this doll was. Danny likes to mark it all over her. And Volks has the stamps in the back of their heads, which I'm not even sure if it will pick up on the camera because they're pretty light and not super deep. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. It's not really a comparing posability video, just because that's a little, you know, too in-depth for me to try and capture. Maybe one day I'll try to do that kind of video, but for now I just wanted to show you guys the main differences in these bodies just from an aesthetic point of view, so that maybe if you're looking for a specific body or trying to clothe a specific body or find one for your character, maybe this will give you a better idea. But that's gonna be it for this one, you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.